Hello and welcome to your own channel. Let's talk business once again. I'm Ravi and we have a couple of important things to discuss and understand. So let's start talking business. But before starting this video presentation, I would like to make it clear once again that Blueprint 2 program is very big and dynamic in nature. After all, it's about changing markets, 30 plus year old legacy system and processes. The information presented in this video presentation is based on my own research and understanding. My attempt is to provide you an overall view and direction, but I will highly encourage you to do your own independent analysis of the various subjects discussed in this video presentation or my previous video presentation. All right, so let's start today's topic. So for those who are watching this video presentation first time, and if you have not watched my previous video presentation in this series, then I will highly recommend or encourage you to watch the previous video presentation before this video presentation. And you can do it by clicking on top right corner of this video presentation. So in the last video presentation, we talked about the open market placement and account and settlement processes at a very high level. And then we also discussed the various problems associated with the different steps within these processes and how some of the Blueprint 2 solutions are helping to solve those problems. Now in this video presentation, we will talk about the open market claim processes and its associated problem and how Blueprint 2 solutions are solving those problems. Some of the problems are very common between the claim and the open market placements, like hidden data entry errors or multiple key in problem. But some of the problems are very unique to the claim processing, which we'll discuss in this video presentation. So let's keep rolling and let's go to the next slide. Now, before jumping into the business processes, some of the common problems associated with the claim processes are mentioned here. And these problems are impacting claims badly. To start with, manual work. There is a hell lot of manual work embedded within the entire claim lifecycle, which makes the entire claim lifecycle extremely slow and inefficient. The second point is automation, which is related to point one. There is so much of manual processing in the claim lifecycle, and this is because of the absence of clear data. And without clear or clean data, you're not able to leverage the power of automation, which is currently being offered by various powerful tools available in the market. Now, the third point is confusing data in absence of the proper data standard. This makes it difficult for multiple systems to talk to each other. Say, for example, if multiple carrier system or agreement parties wanted to exchange information to each other, this will make it very difficult in absence of a common data standard. Well, ECF writeback offers some level of standardization, but still there is a lot of scope left in this area. I have covered the ECF, ECF2 and ECF writeback in greater detail in my previous video presentation. So if you wanted to know more about them, then click the link over here. No visibility. Now this one is most frustrating in my view. I mean, within the claim lifecycle, multiple stakeholders are sometimes working in absolute silos and not having any idea about what exactly is happening on the claim, or as a matter of fact, where the claim is exactly. Well, it is clearly evident that once you have all these problems, then ultimately your turnaround time will be impacted, resulting in delays in the claim processing and ultimately impacting the customer satisfaction. So all these things make the overall claim process, just like a placement process, frustrating, extremely slow and expensive. And the whole idea behind the Blueprint 2 is to make the process better, faster, cheaper by addressing these challenges. All right, let's move to our next slide. Again, this is at very high level. I'm not going to touch the deeper aspect of the claim lifecycle in this presentation, but the idea is to give you an overall view of how these challenges are spread across the entire claim process from the bird eye view. In this similar diagram, we have four major stakeholders: customer, broker, bureau, and carrier. There are many other, but remember, I'm only talking about at very high level view. The process starts with a claim notification at the customer level. Then it reaches to the broker, where the broker first prepares the claim file and then logs the claim into the class system and submit all the required document to the central services through IMR. To know more about the class system, click the link over here. Now the claim reaches to the bureau services, where the technician matches the claim with the policy and check the premium manually to proceed further. At the carrier end, the lead will do the claim triaging, and depending on the claim, it will decide the claim agreement parties, and all these things are still manual. Also note that in this whole process, there is an extensive manual query loop in play, if you can see over here. Since this query loop is manual, it is taking long time to get query resolved, resulting in lot of delays in the entire claim process. And finally, once the claim is agreed upon, The instruction will be sent to the bureau services where the technician will perform the manual check again before they send instruction to the central settlement services like STFO or RBS in case of company market. There is a whole messaging infrastructure that runs behind these processes, and if you want to know more about them, you can click the link over here on top right corner of this video presentation. And once everything is done, finally or ultimately the broker and client receive the claim payment. Now let's try to understand what are some of the problems which impacting the claim process. As I said at the beginning of this session, some problems are common and some problems are very specific to the claim, but let's have a quick look. Okay, so let's start with the manual process, which start at the beginning of the claim lifecycle, creating the claim file and then creating the claim transaction in the class system required a huge manual effort, and then on top of it uploading the claim related information into the IMR system also required a lot of manual effort, which is very time consuming. Another task which involved a lot of manual effort is matching the claim to the policy or policy section by the bureau technicians or broker. This sometimes becomes very time consuming and leads to a lot of manual query loop between the broker, bureau technician and carrier. Claim triaging and identifying the right agreement parties are also largely manual intensive activities. Updating the claim system at the broker, bureau, carrier, etc. is largely manual, though ECF writeback services provide some automation, but still a lot of manual effort is required to make sure that all these applications or systems are in sync. Checking the claim transaction for technical entries before releasing it to the STFO and RBS is largely a manual driven activity, along with a claim and fee reconciliation, which till date also largely governed by the manual processes. Let's move to the next category, a lack of proper data standard. Having a lack of standardization at the data level will almost kill your possibility to harness the data in the form of analytics and reporting, and also to leverage the power of AI driven automation, which can be instrumental in achieving the speed with a greater accuracy. There is no structured and defined format when the claim is being received from the customer during the FONOL process, or when the broker is creating the claim to be processed by the central services, and having a different data format will make it extremely difficult to match the claim with the policy and premium. Just imagine the kind of heavy lifting work the technician has to do manually to read the data from the claim file and then look at the list or pause system and then class system, then update the IMR, then check the LPNs, and then query the broker if something is missing, and many other manual activities. This is not only the time consuming but also leads to many kind of a data entry errors and poor quality work. The lack of structured data format will also make it difficult to the lead and agreement party to evaluate the claim quickly and accurately. This is just because there is no single place where they will get all the information available for triaging. And as I said earlier, this will kill all the possibilities to do automation to improve the claim quality and accuracy. Our next category is dark spot in the claim lifecycle. Because of the other problem that we have just discussed, there are so many dark spots in the processes which will make it almost impossible for all the stakeholders to know what others are doing on the claim. And the biggest impact is on customers who are not having any idea that when they will be receiving the funds. Broker also sometimes don't know on the real-time basis where the claim is and who is working on the claim or where the claim got stuck and what need to be done to keep them moving. They depend largely on the manual query from the technicians, and these manual queries are largely managed over the emails, highly inefficient processes. The claim agreement parties are also not aware that they are at risk until the leads inform them. In general, the claim parties are not aware that they are on risk until they receive the messages from the bureau services like SCM messages. All the queries are routed through broker, which again make it very difficult to track what is happening in the claim lifecycle. Additionally, no visibility when the bureau services will release the instruction to the central services to release the payment, and when the payment will be released and received by the broker and the customer. Claims are ultimate insurance service window where the customer experience your service level. If there is no transparency in the claim processes for the customer, then there is a high possibility that during the renewal, the customer may think of other market to place the risk, which is the loss for the overall market. So claim, in my view, is most sensitive area in the entire blueprint show. Moving next, and now let's see how some of the blueprint 2 solutions are addressing the problem that we have just discussed. Now the problem that we have just discussed, like manual work and lack of proper data standard and visibility, will be addressed by ICOS, or International Claim Orchestration Services. Nowadays is commonly referred as the digital processing platform. ICOS provide a portal services where you can directly log in and create a query and claim and receive the claim information. ICOS is also having a possibility to interact with it through accord ECOT messages through APIs. Having the accord in the equation will bring more standardization in terms of data capture and will give a tremendous possibility to harness the data in many different ways. Claim matching by the broker and the bureau service technician will become incredibly simple and straightforward because now you have CDR or core data record in the equation, which is stored in the CDR database and maintained by the IROS or International Risk Orchestration Services. Having the CDR will automate the claim, policy and premium matching, which will save a lot of time. During the transition period, if the CDR is not available, then the slim CDR, which is also called as a transactional risk record or TRR, will be created to match the claim with the policy. Or broker can even submit the MRC version 3 to create a proper CDR for future use. Going next, when it comes to the claim notification for the lead underwriter and the claim agreement party, they will either get the claim notification and matching policy and premium information through ICOS portal, or they have flexibility to receive the information through ECOT messages through APIs directly in their system. Now, since the lead underwriter, claim agreement party, broker, and bureau technician are all on same platform, I mean ICOS, this will bring more transparency to the overall process, which will reduce the dark spot in the process that we discussed earlier. All queries related to the claim will be addressed in parallel by broker, claim technician, lead, claim agreement party, rather than being managed individually in a sequential way, which is currently happening. Having the central ICOS in play will bring the visibility of key decision to all the key stakeholders and provide the opportunity to collaborate in much more coordinated and efficient way. Technical and financial processing check will be automatically complete by the digital processing platform or ICOS before sending the payment instruction to the central services for the payment. Now, having the EBOT technical account or TA and financial account or FA messages in play will make life much more simple because they are fast, accurate, and having the industry standards. I mean, just to explain in a simple terms, in the settlement process, the broker will create and send the EBOT, TA, and FA to ICOS services. Once the FA is approved, the settlement instruction will be sent to the settlement services like STFO or RBS automatically. ICOS also has a direct payment facility to pay within 2 hours to the payee, and this will change the customer experience incredibly. The payment status will be viewable to all the key stakeholders in the digital processing platform or ICOS portal. Fantastic. So let's stitch all together to see the bigger picture. Let's go to the next slide. Now we have a CDR which is based on the Accord standard. We have digital gateway or IROS ensuring the quality of CDR, and then we have IPOS services which will manage all the premium transaction automatically, and finally we have just discussed the ICOS which will interact with IPOS and IROS to maximize the possibility of automation by avoiding the manual work in the process. Lastly, let's talk about the sequences under which the program is getting delivered, which we discussed earlier also. Sequence 1 is already delivered. Under sequence 1, the market delivered the foundational services on which the entire Blueprint 2 programs run. Sequence 2 is also delivered. This is basically for global premium or singleton business. Sequence 3 is specific to the London market premium and claim, which is going to go live in July 1st. Sequence 4 is related to the delegate authority premium and claim, which is also going live on July 1st, 2024. Sequence 5 is little delayed, which is related to the IROS, and now it will be delivered next year. So well, that's all from today's video presentation. I hope you have gained some knowledge. Bye-bye and take very good care of yourself. We will meet in next video presentation. Goodbye.